Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. This is LZ. I'm here with Nick. Today, we're going to get a little more focused, a bit more. We're still going to bounce around a little bit like normal, but we're going to cover a few things in particular. Courtyard.io, which is a really great company that focuses on hobby trading card, Pokemon vending machines. So we're going to break that down and we're going to dive into the company itself, but then we're going to go further. We're going to look at the market as a whole because we're starting to see these pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
Then we're going to take it a little broader. We're going to actually talk about some financials with PSA. And then we'll probably just see where it goes. We're definitely going to cover the pop report. We're going to do Bonehead Breakers. There will be a question of the day.
Yeah. It's going to be a
So,
little businessy. We're
yeah,
going to
this
dive into the metrics for some of these companies that are having a big impact in our space, which I
Yeah,
think
they
is
really
good.
are. They're having a big impact. So before we get to all that, Nick, let's start with the opening kickoff.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Can I start today?
Yeah, I like it when you start. You got the
All right.
energy.
I recently just got back from New Hampshire and I pulled into my driveway and I look at the backyard and our swing set's gone, Nick.
Wait, what?
It's gone.
How did I not hear
And
about this?
and this is I knew it was going to happen. But if
What?
you if you have if you have a swing set for the past 10 years and you bought it because both of your kids were little and it was a big deal when that swing set was installed in the backyard and there's all these memories of your kids on this swing set. They grew up with the swing set, right? Had a lot of fun, a lot of summer days with this swing set. And now my kids are going to be 17 and they're going to be 15. And my wife finally said, I think it's time to get rid of the swing set. And I was like, sure, get rid of this damn thing. Get it out, get it out of the backyard. I don't want it anymore. I want to plant some nice grass where the swing set is. So while we were away, I mean, Facebook yard sale, we gave it away for free. Think about getting rid of one of those huge, nice wooden swing sets.
That thing
Getting
is
rid of
nice.
that on your own. I mean, these people did us a favor by coming. Amy put right in the post, if you come and pick it up, like we're not helping you. You have to disassemble it yourself. And some person came and took it while we were gone up in New Hampshire. And I pulled in today, Nick,
It was just
and I
gone.
was actually a little sad. It's almost like a weird new chapter in my children's life. This
Sure is,
thing
man.
that they had as their whole childhood is now gone. And it was a weird feeling. It was kind of this weird I don't know, I was happy it was gone, but then I'm
I
like, oh
thought
boy.
you I thought you were going to say somebody stole it. Like you
Yeah,
were just off in
someone
New Hampshire and someone just took
someone
your swing
pulled,
set.
just came into the backyard, bunch of tools,
The ring
backed the
doorbell
trailer
didn't go
down the
off, and
driveway.
they just
Yeah.
grabbed it. Oh man,
But they did us a favor, which was great. But it's just
there's
this
nothing
weird
better than those
void.
town Facebook groups. You just
Oh,
get rid of anything because we
it's
got to do something
great.
similar in the basement with like a little table and stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I love it. I don't. I never seem to be able to find like the great free thing that people are giving
no,
away, but we usually give away some nice free stuff.
I
We
actually have
gave.
alerts set up too. Like I look for like acoustic guitar, like
Oh, do you?
you know what I
Okay,
mean? Because you never know,
that's
man.
good.
Somebody might have a Gibson in their attic and
And they're
it's
just giving it
decent shape.
away.
Yeah, you never
I
know.
didn't even think about setting up alerts.
I do. Just
Ooh.
in case, you know. But they
I
never
don't
do.
I
Nothing
don't
good
use
ever
Facebook.
comes.
I don't use Facebook nearly
Yeah.
enough. You're gonna have to show me how to set up an
I've
alert.
well, I've done
I
it for
don't even know how to do
cards,
that.
and so now I've done
Dude, I
it.
don't even know how to do that. Here I am, like hawking
Uh,
all these Facebook groups, Nick, and I didn't even know you could set up an alert for things. So you're gonna have to teach me that, man. All right, what
dude.
what is your opening kickoff?
I'm calling an audible on my kickoff, and it's gonna make you feel funny.
Oh
So,
no.
so I'm out by the pool with my son today, and he's looking at our. We have like one of those. It's not an octagon. It's like the jungle gym octagon
Like a
thingy.
half dome thing
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I mean, you know what it is. I
that you
don't know what
climb
the.
on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell
Yeah.
it's called. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of triangles.
Mhm.
And he's been asking for a swing set for a long time.
No way. No, you're not, Ian. Just stop it. Stop.
And
Stop. Stop. Stop.
no, I'm not. You know, it would be really funny if I was like, I was the one that picked up your swing set today. Look, it's over there. Didn't do that. But yeah, he wants like a little swing set. So we're actually thinking of getting him one. He's obviously a lot younger than, your oldest kid.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
he just wants to like vibe out on it or whatever. So now that's
yeah.
funny because as I sit here looking at local places with swing sets and stuff
No
like that, you have now
way.
given away a very nice one for free. And
No
if I tell
way.
Gavin, he's going to get pissed. So
Oh man. You know what? It was nice, but it needed some
it's old.
work.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's
old.
10 years old, man. You wouldn't want a 10-year-old swing
Yeah,
set.
he'll
And
get
plus,
on that thing and it'll fall apart.
yeah. And plus, I know you. You're like even me. Like you would not want to take that thing apart and go set it up in your yard.
Hell
There's
no.
no
No,
chance,
that's what
Nick.
TaskRabbit is
No,
for, man.
no chance. No chance.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my kickoff. Forget it. It's
Oh,
too funny.
are you
Too funny.
kidding me? Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
that's too funny. That's too funny. All right, let's get into what we want to talk about today, which is courtyard.io.
Yeah.
They're making really big waves in the market right now with vending machines. Um, I actually have I ran into one? I think I have. I don't know if it was a courtyard one,
I've never
but
seen one in
I've
person.
seen I have not seen a courtyard one, but I mean, I see them online. I see them, they're all over the socials, and we've done some research on them. But we've seen other types, and they're impressive, man. These vending machines. So
It's not just them.
what?
Like, Pokemon machines are everywhere. You see the
Yeah,
fights, right? We got
sure.
one in our local Shaw's, and I got a pack today out of it. Um,
So you have just strictly a Pokemon vending machine.
yeah, that's not courtyard.io. This
Okay.
is a
All right.
Pokemon Direct, through a
Okay.
distributor, and it's those
Yeah.
machines you see everywhere. But it's
All
quite
right.
popular. So
Yeah. I want to. I'm hoping by let's call it the next 15 minutes or so.
yeah, we're gonna unpack
I
this.
I hope we can unpack it enough that you and I decide to get into the vending game machine, Nick.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
vending
Or
game
possibly maybe we get the
vending,
Courtyard
vending
IO
machine
guys
game.
on
Yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about it a bit more. I know they'll be at
Okay.
our party at the National, which would be great.
Yep.
But I want to just pick apart this whole business
Okay.
model, what they're thinking, everything. But
All right.
you're
So
better at
let's
structuring, so
no, let's get into it. I mean, I'll just let me set the stage a little bit broader and then let's get into actually Courtyard because I think you
sure.
actually have some information on Courtyard
Yeah, I got
itself.
financials from a few
All
different
right.
sources.
So I just did more general research on the market as a whole. The vending machine market as a whole annually is about a $9 billion industry,
US.
US.
Okay.
hmm Um, it does cost money to if you want to rent or lease these. I'm sure every company's different, but the average one costs about $300 a month to rent. Some other stats I found interesting, and I think this would be really interesting because I have a feeling Courtyard is doing a lot better than this. Um, to place one of these in a different location, say it's malls are very popular, shopping centers like your Shaw's supermarket, like you said, popular. Um, the average charge to lease or to put one of these in that space is $750 a month. And I'm thinking in my head, like these vending machines, like these nice new ones, these trading card ones, they gotta be making hand over fist. $750 feels like nothing. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, Nick. But I'm sure you're gonna tell me, especially with Courtyard, because you have some information on them, kind of what that is. But I found that to be like relatively cheap. Now, I think if you're selling Doritos, yeah, $750 a month
Right. I
probably.
was just thinking
Yeah,
that for one
yeah,
second here.
yeah.
You think about the security of these things. I,
Mm.
I don't know if anybody's watched Breaking Bad, but like, I don't know, one of the earlier episodes, Jesse and them just go like steal safe and they can't open the thing,
hmm
and it's like, what is the value sitting in these machines? Like, is there a
Oof.
$10,000 card inside or
Yeah, I think in
whatever?
some cases there are.
Right.
Definitely.
So, they're probably more valuable than cracking an ATM.
Nick,
It's like,
if one of these let's just, I mean, this is obviously, I don't know if this is really true, but let's say like you put one of these in a mini mart, the vending machine itself could be more valuable than the
entire
entire
store.
in the entire store.
I know. And like I
Yeah.
worked with convenience stores way back in the day, my like post, undergrad job, and they are always looking for they are obsessed with the dollar per square foot, the revenue in their store. They love
Hmm.
chips, they love high markup things. I can't think of a better mark. Like it's
Yeah.
like every one of them
Yeah.
would probably want one of these machines because they only
Hmm.
take up like I don't know 4 by 6 or something like that. It's crazy. I mean, it's a
Shoot.
decent chunk, but you
You,
could also put them outside. There was one at in Vegas. It was outside of like a taco shop.
yeah,
I bet you
sure.
that taco shop's selling a lot of tacos now too.
Nick, we actually learn a lot about business and markets and trends from Asia.
Yeah.
Now, something that you just said a minute ago made something click for me. Japan is huge when it comes to vending machines. They have entire stores that are just vending machines of all different random stuff. And you just go up with your
Yeah.
phone and you tap it and you press a button and something
Yeah,
pops
they got
out.
like underwear, like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, everything. Everything, right? So with these starting to pop up, technology's getting better. Shoot, man. Like, I don't know. Are we going to go that direction? Are
It's
we going to
another
have
cultural
entire
thing
stores?
too for the US. We have young kids, like they've all grown through this like blind bag phase. They all have
Yeah.
mystery bags and blind bags. And like when
Yeah.
our daughters were younger, they were always popping these like sealed up things to get like whatever princess inside,
Hmm.
and that's still in there, man. It's still in their brain,
It
like that
is.
that
You're right.
surprise, right?
Yeah.
And you look at these machines. I mean, they look beautiful. I'm on
Hmm.
Courtyard's website right now. They look like a very, very flashy, fun, lit up blind bag, like for
Yeah.
adults. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
really enticing.
Sure. Yep. All right. So, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, the market, I mean, I kind of gave you the market. Let's start to dive into a little bit more on Courtyard because we called
Yeah.
them out specifically. Like, what can you tell us about what's going on with Courtyard? I don't know, any sort of revenues that you could find out
Yeah,
about
so
them or
shout out to Neo's Cards and Comics. He was the first person to drop this information.
Hmm.
It was kind of like a shocking headline when he dropped this. It was like they're making, $42 million a month or something crazy like.
No,
And
no,
I was like,
no way. Are you
what is,
serious?
yeah, that's what he said. So he pulled all of this data. And you guys should go on his channel and watch his full, it's only a 15-minute video. I'll try to actually link it. But he talks about just the scale up over the last 3 years. It is literally an exponential viral curve. Just going from
Whoa.
the transactions per day, per year, and then the revenue. So I summarized this video. Again, I don't know where he got the data, but he just did a great job with this a
Hmm.
while back. In 2024, they hit 9 million in annual revenue total. Okay, with a
Okay.
27-person team.
2024.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then by December 2024, the platform announced over 10 million in monthly sales volume. So clearly, by the very end, they were doing a run rate of $10 million, which was a sharp rise from. Want to know what they did in January 2024? $50,000.
What?
So this is a classic.
What?
This is a classic exponential growth curve, and yeah. So and they were talking about the different you can buy things back at 90%, right? That's how Arena Club makes a ton of money. So you start to like now obviously they have inventory, right? So it's a
Hmm.
very inventory heavy business. It's a
Hmm.
tech business. You have the machines, which I can only imagine what the machines cost, probably 10 grand a piece, I don't know, something like that. But damn, if you are raking in even if it's 5%, I mean, it's probably not the full 10% they're getting, but if you're raking in 5% of this is a great business. And
Yes, it is.
it's bootstrapped. It says it's a 27-person team. And it looks like this thing could do, I don't know, like $500 million no time soon. It's like just
Wow.
crazy. So, I mean, that's what Golden Auctions does. Golden Auctions is, I just did an analysis on them. They're doing like 300 to $500 million a year as a
Hmm.
company under eBay. And so you're telling me this vending machine company in 3 years is like going to equal Golden in terms of revenue, which is freaking
That's
nuts. Now, I'm not
amazing.
talking profit, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, but it's mind blowing to me. And you start to think like, what is happening here? Like, why are they making so much money?
Right.
You know, I want to unpack that a little bit. Like,
Mm.
all right, why is that curve so steep? And why is it so lucrative for them? You know? And I have some thoughts, but I figured I'd kick it to you for a second.
Mm. Oh boy. I think part of it is, man, where do I go? I think the technology has gotten very good recently. I mean, if you go on their website or even some of their competitors, like these are beautiful machines. They definitely grab your attention immediately when you're in a store. You can't help but notice them,
Yep.
especially because, there's no other ones around. It's usually just one, like in a corner of a mall. And they're beautiful. They got these big screens and everything. I think with them in particular, they are going after another part of the market that's really hot right now, which is the repacks, and kind of
What
these
else is hot, LZ?
mystery bags.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, well,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, yeah. If they're focusing on Pokemon, I would say that's big. Certainly, there's the gambling aspect of it too, right? You're taking a risk. I think even something that you hit on earlier with our own kids when they were growing up, like buying those. What were those things called? Where they had like the ultra rare, those little plastic things that were in those
LOL dolls. I got a big
LOL
sack
dolls.
of them in the
There we
attic.
go. There we go. All right, the LOL dolls. You probably put like let's say 2 grand into
I don't
that
even
were
want to think about it.
that are, but
Don't.
but
PTSD.
you think about how obsessed these girls were at that. All right, so those girls now are almost teenagers,
Late teens.
but
Yeah.
even you see like how obsessed they got with that, and this is almost very similar. Imagine if those things were in these awesome looking vending machines with beautiful screens and marketing. So I think they're almost like hitting the market at the right time. I mean, that's what's coming to mind for me. What are
Yeah.
your
I think there's societal stuff here. Like,
mm,
you've got this shift where gambling, we all have like all throughout civilization, you're allowed certain vices, then you're not, then you're allowed certain vices, then you're
mm,
not. Like, no civilization ever allows more than like one or two mind-altering drugs. Guns, Germs, and Steel is a great book, by the way. And so, like in the
yeah,
US, we
yeah,
allow alcohol and now we allow cannabis, but we don't allow Coke and we don't allow this. And one of the things that we are very much allowing now is gambling.
yeah.
We talk about it all the time. My son's going to place 100 times more bets on
Hmm.
sports than I ever
Sure.
did.
Hmm.
And it's acceptable. It's
Nick,
getting
they're
deregulated.
actually they're grooming kids a lot younger too with gambling. Like my son has done used an app where they basically give you like free credits to gamble on sports.
Right.
You're not
So
using money, So yeah, it's
so
interesting.
gambling as a society has taken off. And
Yeah.
these repack companies like Arena Club and Courtyard.io that we've been talking about,
Mm.
and even Fanatics, who has gotten into the repack game,
Yep.
I think they've found a way to get a bunch of, I mean, the simplest explanation, just get a bunch of things together,
Hmm.
make them a mystery, have a floor, have a ceiling,
Yep.
and have a chase.
Yep.
And it's a total mystery, and it's also frictionless. So you go on and you're just like, you don't like it. With Arena Club, you just push a button, here's 90% of your money back. Push
Right.
another button, here's 90 back. And so you keep reducing it by 10, by 10,
I
by
mean,
10, by 10.
that's better than that's better than a casino, Nick, right? You
It
go play
is
blackjack, you're not getting any of your money back.
some of the, yeah,
I
if
mean,
even
you might get a ticket to the buffet.
right.
That's
Even
it,
if you're Rain
right?
Man, you can't get much more than a 1% advantage on the house in
Mm.
blackjack. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's fair, it's frictionless, and it's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. This is kind of why I want the Courtyard guys to come on, or
Yeah.
somebody from a company.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel, but that's not something I do or I really find joy in too
Mm.
often.
Hmm.
But like, let's say, for example, Courtyard IO announces tomorrow we've got vintage repack machines, and one of them has red, blue, and white stripes on it,
Yep.
and
You're gonna be
it's
drawn to that one.
86 Fleer cards. That might get my attention, and I might throw some money at that. I might throw a few $100 at that, trying to get like a
I
Jordan or
yeah,
something like that,
I
right?
would absolutely do
So
that.
it's easy to
Hmm.
crap on the space and just be like, oh, it's like junk and then one good thing, but
Hmm.
they just
Well, I
got
don't think we're
started.
crapping on it though. Neither of us
No,
are
no, no,
crapping
no,
on it
no,
right
no.
now.
I'm
All
just
right,
saying,
all
so,
right, all
yeah,
right. Yeah.
we're
Okay.
just analyzing this, right?
Yeah,
Like we're
right.
just looking at
Hmm.
this like a business model, and
Right.
I think if they were smart, they should branch out into. Honestly, they should go beyond cards. I mean, sneakers come out of it, or
Sure.
whatever. Anything else that's randomized somehow.
Hmm.
Like you get the one pair of sneakers that works out, but cards are portable and they're valuable, so that's always going to be a
Hmm.
great thing to vend. Um, but I think that's interesting if they branch out into something like that. But we, as a society, are more comfortable with gambling and blind bags. Like maybe in the 80s, if one of those machines existed, the mom would be like, that's like a lottery machine, and I don't want my like 15-year-old doing that. But now it's
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, it's a blind bag. I remember giving my kids these things, 10 years
Yeah.
ago. So
Right.
it's just a shift. The big question about this business is it's it's supported by sports card and Pokemon growth. What happens if that growth dies? That's the key here. So they have to think
Sure.
about that. If
They
I
do.
was running that business, I would
Hmm.
diversify beyond cards
Hmm.
and make
Beyond
something
cards.
else
Yeah.
mysterious.
Hmm.
Christ, I could even be
Could
toys.
be
Or,
jewel. It could be jewelry,
yeah.
right? And there's in one in every 10,000, there's a diamond ring, right?
It's funny you say that. One of my first clients with my old agency was diamondcandles.com. Huge fad for like 1 year. And
Okay.
what they would do, they were actually awesome candles. They were soy based, and every candle had a ring inside.
Oh, I remember this.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
then
Yes. Yes.
the ring could be like a Crack-a-Jack ring. It's worth like $5,
Hmm.
or it could be $100 ring.
Hmm.
And in some cases, there were $10,000 diamond rings in them, and people
Here we
would
go.
do videos.
Here we
This
go.
was, 2012, I'm
Mm.
gonna say, ahead of its time. I know. See, it was a great, great business, and people were like going bonkers for these things. So they'd burn the candle, and it would be in this little thing, and you get it. So of course you can do jewelry. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah, like blind bag anything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And have a floor and have a ceiling
Hmm.
and make it random. It's pretty fascinating. But it'll be so. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if this growth continues because, like, where is it coming from? I guess there's just a huge appetite to gamble on, or like have a surprise or a mystery on sports cards.
Surprise. Yeah. Have a
Yeah.
surprise. Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, just how big breaking's getting now, right? You're right. This is the culture now. This is society. Just,
Breaking does this too. It's
it's
a
another
different format.
surprise.
Instead of
Yep.
a vending machine, they're doing it in
Hmm.
a live show. But
Yep.
there are many, many, many breakers doing millions of dollars of repacked mystery
Hmm.
flamethrower, whatever you want to call it, things.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think it's just going to be a bigger trend. But
All right, let's get these guys on from Courtyard.
yeah, let's
Let's
do
get
it.
them on. Let's talk to them. All right, before we get to PSA financials, let's get to the Pop Report.
Mm.
Pop Report is anything in popular news, pop culture that has really stood out to me and Nick over the past week. Today, I'm going to start. I'm going to get a little serious with everybody, just to notify everybody. But there has been a massive worldwide cyber breach of passwords and emails. We're talking upwards of 16 billion, billion, I said, people, billion records, 16 billion with a B. Um, and we're not talking about just some mom and pop companies. We're talking about information from accounts from Google, Apple, the VPN services that you use, like DuckDuckGo. I know is a very popular one, and things like that.
I always forget about
GitHub.
DuckDuckGo. That's a search engine, right?
No, well, they're VPN, and then
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. But even like GitHub, which is a very, very popular tech company for developers, yeah, a lot of code is stored on GitHub. So this is serious. I mean, every one of us probably either has a Google account or an Apple account. So this is a big one. When you hear about these in the past, typically it's like old information that's getting released. And what they're
Yeah.
saying about this cyber attack, this cyber breach, is a lot of these records are new. These aren't like your password from 3 years ago. They're saying this is current. That is kind of really all the information as we're recording this that we have today around this. But everybody, oh, geez, it goes without saying. Um, change your passwords. It's gonna
Okay,
suck.
mom.
Change your passwords. And I think if even if you don't want to change your password, just use multi-factor authentication, which I've told Nick about. We've had episodes about it. That is really the best bang for your buck to protect yourself is just have good MFA. So I'll leave it with that. I don't want to be too doom and gloom, but I usually have some cool poppy thing, but this hit the news and I'm like,
All
I
right,
gotta tell
next
everybody.
next week I need to go first for both because I've had to call an audible twice now. This is going to be my second
Oh
audible.
no, really? What do you mean? What are you
My
calling an
second
audible
audible.
for?
I was going to talk about something, but you made me think of like we are like the opposite. I don't really care about hacking, and I probably
Yeah.
haven't hacked a million times. And it's just like
Mhm.
here, have everything. Um, and it made me think of a book series. I don't know if the audience. It's a little obscure. I read it like gosh,
Book
like
series.
2012. It's
Okay.
called Chaos Walking. And so in this world,
Hmm.
there's a society where everybody can hear each other's thoughts, and therefore there are no secrets. And I think that's
Ooh.
amazing. It's like let's just hack everybody. Everybody's information is just available. Everybody knows everything about everybody, and it solves the problem.
Whoa.
And it was kind of like, how do they navigate this world where you can't lie and you can't hide any information? But then there was, I don't, it's not really a spoiler because I
Jeez, that
think
can
it's
get
in
like
like
really complex though. That must be a crazy book series because
it's a three part series.
I'm even thinking about not lying. I'm thinking about like not having thoughts
Well,
around
here's
people,
one step
right?
further.
Like,
They could even hear the animals' thoughts in
yeah,
some
that's
cases.
freaky. That's freaky.
And
That's
it's
freaky.
a great book series. So Chaos Walking,
All right, so
three part
you
series.
you thought of this because you
Yeah,
think that if that was the
everybody just
case, there
open.
would
I'm
if
an open
everything
source
was
guy.
open,
I'm an open
yeah.
source guy. That's just how I live my life. Here you go. Here's the
So
information.
here's my credit card number. Here's my
Yeah,
expiration date.
whatever, man. Here you go.
Here's my banking information.
Yeah, but
Here
they
it
got to give it
is.
to me too.
Here's
They got to give it to me too. We got to trade it.
all right. Okay.
Now, in that world, everybody, it's like mutually assured destruction, right? So,
Whoa,
anyway, that book made me think of it.
boy.
And I just found out right now that there is like a movie from 2021 on the first book. So I'm psyched. It's
Oh,
probably going
cool.
to be lousy, but awesome book series if you guys want to check it out.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's a cool audible. Good for you for
Two
switching
audibles.
gears
I'm going first next time.
really quick on that one. Yeah, you can go first, I promise. All right. Let's get into just broader. So again, we're business focused today.
Mm.
We definitely focused, the first part on vending machines, certainly courtyard.io. But let's take it a bit broader and talk about the industry as a whole. Well, not the industry as a whole, but some other big players in the industry, specifically PSA, Nick. You did some analysis on PSA. You started to crunch some numbers on
Yeah.
maybe what their financials look like. So I think this could be really interesting for the audience here.
Yeah, I think what motivated me was I wanted to kind of change things up on Instagram
Hmm.
when I'm back eventually. And I think one of the things you and I do pretty well is we can
Hmm.
break down different companies and understand them from a business perspective. I used to do this in
Sure.
consulting all the time,
Hmm.
try to guess people's revenue and based on whatever public information I could find. And then I thought to myself, there are so many private companies in our space doing so many things in our space. I think it's important for us to know like how big is PSA compared to Fanatics and how big is Fanatics compared to Arena Club and are they going to be here tomorrow? And so I'm doing like a series right now, like taking time. I'm going to do Golden, Arena Club, and PSA and
Okay.
Fanatics. So I did PSA and I've got the numbers for that.
Okay. I got
Um,
my pen out, ready to go.
all right.
All right.
So
What do we got?
what I wanted to figure out was their revenue, and I was
Hmm.
backtracking. So their latest public valuation is 4.3 billion. I will get to that last.
When was that? Do you know the date of
That was
that?
2022.
Okay. Yep.
Um, but the first data point I've got is actually from 2020, where they publicly said they did 78.9 million in revenue that year. Okay. So that's our first data point. That's
Okay.
public information. That's a
Hmm.
lot of revenue, but remember, it was 2020. And we were getting the PSA
Woo.
magazine saying, guys, whatever we did in a year, we did in a month. And it was kind of nuts.
Yes.
So an outlier in terms of revenue, most likely,
Hmm.
but a public data point, which is awesome. So we got something
Yeah.
to work with. But that was a hot year. So
Mm.
fast
I
forward to
wonder how
March.
many submissions they were doing back then, though, because now they're up
They
to
told
like
us.
100. What were they up for
So
submissions?
this is something. If I had like an analyst with me and I was on a project and I was on for a competitor, that's what I would do. I would literally pull out the magazines, maybe even ChatGPT can do it now, and
Oh, they absolutely can.
you would just
GPT
think,
can.
all right, how much are they clearing per
Mhm.
slab?
Yeah.
$5 or whatever.
Yeah.
How many submissions did Nat publicly say he did last month? How many? And it's all
Yeah,
there.
1.6, right? 1.6, I
And so
think,
now
million submissions.
you can start to figure out their revenue. It's like
Yeah.
people in the stock market, well, they'll send like a goon to like look at the Frito-Lay plant and watch how many trucks leave, right? Like there's
Yep.
ways to get information that's
Sure.
legal. It's just
Hmm.
not public.
Yep.
So anyway, you can go off of that. I did not go that deep, but in March 2022, they publicly said because they raised a $100 million round at a
Hmm.
4.3 billion valuation. They said
Hmm.
that their revenue doubled year over year alongside EBITDA. For the audience that doesn't know that, that's earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation. So like what you make before
Yeah.
you pay the piper, you
Yep.
know.
Hmm.
Um, and so now you're saying, all right, revenue doubled. So the pre-COVID run rate, I'm guessing, was probably 40 to 50 million. So in like 2018, 2019, they were probably doing 40, 50 million. It shot up to 80 or 79, whatever, during
Okay.
COVID. And I've got one source that's pretty good. I'm not going to name the source, but it's something I rely on a lot in the private equity world. They they gave me like an exact figure. I almost don't want to say it. People don't think I'm like like hacking the company or anything. But let's just say it's around 60 million. That's where he settled. But
60.
if you look at the math I just did, based on their public statements, 60 million kind of fits the bill. The
Hmm.
one problem I'm having with this, it's really bothering me, and I haven't done this on a with a calculator yet, is if their valuation was really 4.3 billion and their revenue is 60, like that's like a 70 multiple. Like no, I'm sorry. Like
Hmm.
the best multiple I've ever seen for a SaaS company is like 10 or 20 or something like that. So my guess is the valuation is not the valuation anymore. And I think I alluded to this before. I don't think that it's 4.3
Well,
anymore.
yeah, I mean, we talked about this on an episode, I think it was 2 weeks ago around GameStop and PSA. We brought some of this up. Yeah,
No
we did.
chance.
Hmm.
I think it could possibly be half that.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
then now the multiple feels a little better. 30,
Yep.
25. I
Yep.
mean, it's hard to find a comparable company to PSA. It's like you got to have almost like a monopolistic company,
Mm.
but they don't really hold inventory. They like your cards are their inventory. They're offering a service. It's a very unique company. It's very
Yeah, even
hard to
like
like
stickiness, they're not really
you could,
sticky.
I mean, you could look at Fanatics, and their
Mm.
valuation and their multiple, I suppose, for the collectibles part of it. You could look at
They,
eBay, I guess,
yeah,
for their
they are
multiple.
they are the top dog in their space,
Yeah.
so that's worth something.
But these aren't, no multiple is perfect, but
Mm.
60, give me a break. So that 4.3 billion is crap. It's just, that's not the valuation anymore,
Right.
unless I'm way off with the revenue and they're like, actually, we're doing like 300 million
Th-
a year.
which
You
yeah, I don't
never
know.
know,
I mean,
dude.
1.6 million submissions a month, Nick. I mean,
All
I
right.
don't
No,
know.
but how much of that? So this is what you do in consulting. How much, when you say they make
What's
five
the
bucks off a
average? What's
submission?
the average? I don't know. What's the average? The average charge on a
Yeah. All right.
submission is $20.
Yeah. But how much are they clearing after
No, I
paying
know. I
people? And
know.
yeah.
20, I'm gonna say, yeah, it's probably five. Probably making
$5.
five
So let's
dollars.
say they get a million every month. That's
Mm-hmm.
5 million times 12. That's 60. I mean,
That's
they're probably,
60.
and I know we've heard that their authentication from Steve Grad and from, gosh, what was that? Brian Gray. He
Yep.
says that it's very insignificant, their autograph department, which we've kind of gotten to like 80% of their business is that.
Mm.
So I actually think I'm damn close. I'm going to stand by that number. And
Okay.
you know
What
what?
about SGC? Did you think about them
I
being in the
didn't
mix
factor that
too?
in because
Yeah,
they
I mean
treat them
that's
as a separate company.
okay.
So this excludes SCG. So this is PSA specifically,
Yeah.
which is a little blurry because collectors at the time, it's collectors is a holding company.
Hmm.
So this is like 80% accurate.
Okay.
When I say PSA, it's probably a screw up because they're apparent like but SGC we can calculate that too, and maybe that
Yeah.
adds another 10 or 15 million, and
Yeah.
then whatever they have like one other company you can extrapolate it out, but I
Hmm.
think I'm close. And again, open invite for Ryan to come on, or maybe Nat can come back on and let us know.
Yeah.
Nat, come on. How
Come
close
on,
am I? Am
Nat.
I hot? Am I cold? What's going on? He'll
Right.
never
That's
tell
all we want to
us.
know.
He'll
Hot and
never
cold.
tell
That's
us.
it. Yeah.
But my guess is
Blink twice, Nat. If
they
hot.
haven't raised money since 2022. My guess is
Mhm.
they'll raise again at some point, given the growth. And Nat's PE guy, at that point in time, they will be required to state some sort of revenue or new
Yeah.
valuation, and then
Yeah.
we'll know for sure. But it's always fun to do these things to find out how
Yeah.
healthy these companies are, whether
hmm
grading is growing, whether revenue's growing, whether the industry's growing. So
hmm
whatever.
So, just to remind the audience, you're going to do a specific YouTube breakdown on PSA Gold and some of the other ones. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think when I return to Instagram,
All right. So
I'll
eventually,
probably do a
yeah,
series on different companies in our space, and we just kind of like just look at them with a magnifying
yeah,
glass and actually
okay,
think about it.
that'll be good.
And
And then
I might do
we
it on
could turn
YouTube.
them
We'll
in.
see. You know.
Well, no, I was gonna eat. Yeah, I kind of like that better, and then we can fold some of that
Yeah,
into our
we post
episodes
most of the
too.
stuff on Shorts on YouTube. If
Yeah.
you guys haven't checked out the Shorts area of the thing, just zip through it. I got a lot of the
Right.
stuff there. We
Right.
have different things. So
Okay.
cool. All right, that's
All right.
PSA.
All right. That's PSA. All right. We're getting towards the close here, Nick.
Y'all.
Let's talk Bonehead Breaker
This
of
one's
the
really
week.
bad, LZ.
All right.
Really
Well,
bad.
they've been really bad lately. I
This
think
one's
we have
even
a trend
worse.
here.
This one's even worse than the last week. I don't know
Oh
how.
no.
Um, yeah, we had somebody that was actually drinking and driving, and they were selling Pokemon packs while they were driving. And he was saying, like, I'm starting to go fast. I'm trying to sell these packs, guys. And it was just like
What?
destined rivals packs, whatever, 5, 10 bucks. And then he went on, racial tirades and political tirades and
Nice.
it
Classy.
was a good cornucopia of
Classy.
like Friday night fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was wasted, and I'm not gonna. This isn't an assumption because he said I am drunk driving in the video, and
Whoa.
I think that's also in
Drunk
the shorts column.
driving and live selling at the
Yeah,
same
honestly, if you guys
time?
ever want to see these bonehead breakers, they're in our
What?
shorts on the YouTube channel. So just zip through them. This is there, um, and yeah, it's I don't even have any words for that one.
Nuts.
People, I mean, I hope he didn't crash into anything or hurt anybody or whatever, man. But maybe park and sell the cars while you're drinking and just
Yeah,
sitting in a
yeah,
car.
exactly.
Like shake it off, have a water,
Find
have
a
some
Dunkin'
coffee.
Donuts, get
Yeah.
yeah, get a cold brew,
Yeah, do a break in
and
the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes. That sounds like a much better
So
idea.
that's our bonehead breaker. I'm not going to give his
Oh,
channel any love. I'm not going to say his name.
yeah. All right.
I don't
All
want
right.
to.
Well, that was Bonehead Breaker of the day. All right. Question of the day, Nick.
Yeah.
All right. My question, because I think you got the last one, or maybe the last couple.
Mm.
Um, you were talking about the vending machines, and you were talking about how the technology has gotten great. They look like sexy and sleek now. They got these beautiful displays. So the question for you is, what is the one, let's call it product that you were so impressed when you first saw it, or even to this day, about just how like beautifully designed it was and how like just sexy this product was?
Sure.
Do you have
Um,
do you
I
do you
do.
have one, or I can go first?
I do. It's actually from my
Really, you already
child.
have one.
It's from
Okay.
my childhood, man.
Okay.
And no
hmm
one's going to agree with me, but at the time, the Super Nintendo was a really
Whoa.
gorgeous looking, sleek device. It was a nice gray and like purple type of thing, which was a little weird, right? Right. It was like
Yeah.
91 or whatever.
hmm
I remember saving up the $205 with tax, going to Toys R Us and buying the thing. And I remember looking at that box going like, this is beautiful. Like, this is the most
Wow.
beautiful thing I've ever bought with my own money. And I still got the thing over there. I'm bringing it to my other house, and
Shine it
still
up.
still runs, baby. And I mean,
Wow.
I still think it was a very well designed
Okay.
gaming console. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, the PS5's like beautiful and has blue LEDs on it, but
Mhm.
like we're talking like 1991, okay?
Right.
Like it's
Right.
like a little bit,
Yeah.
it's a long time ago. So that's mine.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I obviously this is my question, so I had a little bit longer time to think about it. Um, for me, it's actually a car.
Oh,
It's the Aston Martin DB5,
now I'm gonna look that
which
up.
which is the James Bond Aston Martin. The
Okay.
original. like the Goldfinger one, like
Okay.
back in
I
the
don't need to
day.
look it up now.
You know that one?
Yeah, it's
That
like silverish and it
oh,
looks
it's
like
silver. Oh, it's
almost looks like
so
a Rolls Royce type of design, but like
yeah,
it's
man. It's
the
like it's all hood. It's like, the front of the car is just so long and sleek, and then like the actual, where the driver sits, it's very small and
that's a nice
compact, but
car.
it's just such a sexy looking car.
It
So for
screams
me,
like
it's
spy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just think that car is just so well designed from an aesthetics perspective. I've never been in one or driven one. I don't know how it is, driving it, but just such a beautiful car if I were to pick one. So that is mine, the Aston Martin DB5, and for Nick it is the
Super
Super
Nintendo.
Nintendo from like
Ridiculous.
1990, 91.
91, something like that.
91.
Yeah.
The gray and the purple. All right,
Cool.
audience, we want to hear what
What's
you
the
want,
most beautiful thing you've ever
the
experienced?
beautifully designed product that you've experienced.
All right.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, that's a wrap.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.